Now, the Colombo Stock Exchange experienced record losses today as well. The all-share price index was down 121.75 points, while the Milanka price index was down 98.93 points. Yesterday, the key indices of the CSE fell below the 5,000 mark, a far cry from the heady 7,000 plus levels experienced a little over a year ago.
The all-share price index, which recorded a loss of 2.47% in comparison to the previous trading day, ended the day on 4,813.26 points. The Milanka price index was down 2.23% to end the day on 4,342.63 points. These are the lowest levels recorded this year and also the lowest since August 2010. The Colombo Stock Exchange gained worldwide recognition as one of the fastest growing stock markets in the world just last year. Indices of the Colombo Stock Exchange hit a record high last February when the all-share price index reached 7,816 points and the Milanka price index reached 7,347 points. However, since then, the all-share price index has experienced a dramatic fall of 38%, while the Milanka price index has dropped by as much as 40%.
Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission introduced a price band on share trades last year in order to control market manipulation. With the market going into a tailspin, the regulator eased some of these regulations. Now, on top of all this, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the regulatory body that governs the CSE, introduced several new regulations last Wednesday in response to the controversial transaction between the National Savings Bank and the finance company. The market has seen a rapid decline since then. Meanwhile, the rising exchange rate and interest rates have also contributed to the downfall. Although the government has maintained that the rupee will stabilize at around 125 rupees to the US dollar, in trading today, the exchange rate stood at 131 rupees and 75 cents to the dollar.
The big fish are swimming freely. We need to show who exactly has done what. The Secretary to the Ministry of Finance is saying that they will not be responsible for the NSP transaction. Out of those who submitted letters of resignation, maybe about 1% are involved. Now, who appoints the directors of the finance company? It is through the Central Bank and Ministry of Finance. Now, who has been appointed? It is Ajit Deva Surendra and whose shares have been sold? Who owns Taparin Securities? So wouldn't insider dealings take place?
Taking a look at how the stock markets in the region have performed today, Colombo clearly stands out as the odd one out. Now, BizFirst, of course, will keep a close watch on this story.
Still in local news, UNP parliamentarian Lakshman Kiriyala says that other than following the leader and deputy leader of the party, they have no intention of following anyone else. He expressed this view during a meeting in Ratnapura yesterday.
We have a leader and a deputy leader in our party. Let's follow the two of them. We do not have to follow anyone else. We know that there are certain shortcomings in the party. We don't deny that. But we must look at the big picture. That is what is important. No party works to perfection.
However, UNP MP Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, addressing a gathering in Bulupitiya Bibila, expressed these views.
The UNP and Sarath Fonseca should get together and proceed on this journey. If someone thinks that the UNP can be guided towards victory by sidelining Sajith Premadasa, then that is a program to assist the government. If someone intends to topple the government without involving Sarath Fonseca, then that is also an attempt to assist the government. The two most popular people in the country are Sajith Premadasa and Sarath Fonseca. Therefore, we should take up this challenge by involving both of them.
Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Sajith Premadasa, says that the government is burdening the people by selling fuel at high prices when the world prices are declining.
In a communique, Premadasa recalls that the subject minister had stated that when world crude prices decrease, the government too will reduce prices. UNP parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa says that the subject minister is now stating that oil purchased at a higher rate cannot be sold at a lesser rate. Premadasa says that the promise made by the government to pass on the benefit of lower crude oil prices to the people must be fulfilled immediately. Meanwhile, Subject Minister Susil Premajanta issuing a communique has stated that the government did not increase local crude oil prices. The instant world market prices increased. The minister says that just because world market prices have reduced, the local prices of fuel cannot be reduced immediately. The communique by the Minister of Petroleum Industries added that if the prices of crude oil and purified fuel show signs of reducing in the next 6 weeks, there is a possibility of prices being reduced.
A media briefing was convened by the United National Party today. During the briefing, parliamentarian Ravi Karnanayake questioned the manner in which Sri Lanka Cricket sold television rights for international and domestic cricket tournaments.
මේ මෑතකදී පත්තරවල හෙළිදරව් කළා තියෙනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකා Secretaries Company wins SLC TV rights. ඒ කියන්නේ අවුරුදු 3කට
Recently, there was a revelation in the newspaper stating that the SLC Secretaries Company has won SLC TV rights. The Sri Lanka cricket rights for the next 3 years has been sold for a sum of 125 million. To whom were the rights sold to? It was sold to CSN, which belongs to the Secretary of Sri Lanka Cricket, Nishantha Ranatunga. Earlier, it was not revealed that such a deal had been made. There are many good television networks at present such as Sirasa, Derana and Swarnavahini. Rupavahini and ITN networks are also there. However, were these networks allowed to submit tenders for this? In which newspapers were advertisements posted to submit tenders? Was this revealed to the public? Then how is it that they sold the rights for 3 years only to them for a sum of 125 million? I have a letter here which was sent to Pali Dharmadasa with the title Expressions of Interest on Telecasting Rights of International and Domestic Cricket Tournaments. CSN paid a sum of 500 million to India to broadcast the IPL, which ran for 2 months. Then how can they pay this sum for 3 years? We need to proudly state that our cricket is much better than that of India. Then is it fair to sell our television rights for 3 years for a sum of 125 million? The chairman of the Rupavahini Corporation, Mohan Samaranayake, says that he does not know about this and that he also came forward to bid for it. Why wasn't a competitive background created for the sale of television rights?
මේ වගේ අවස්ථාවක මිලියන 125කට අවුරුදු 3කට විකුණන එක සාධාරණද? රූපවාහිනියේ මොහන් සමරනායක සභාපතිතුමා කියනවා අනේ අපි දන්නේ නැහැ අපි මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඉදිරිපත් වුණා. ඇයි මේ අවස්ථාව තරංකාරී තත්ත්වයක් ඇති කර දුන්නේ නැත්තේ?
Time now to take a look at the cartoon of the day, which we selected from amongst today's English newspapers.
The 11th day of festivities of the historical Sudumale Sri Purneshwari Ambal Kovil in Jaffna took place yesterday.
Following the planting of the cup, the annual festivities at the Sudumale Sri Purneshwari Ambal Kovil commenced on the 18th of this month. A large number of devotees were present at yesterday's puja, which commenced with the playing of musical instruments. The General Secretary of the Citizens Front, parliamentarian J. Sriranga, was also present at the occasion. Several religious ceremonies were performed at the Kovil in the morning as well as in the evening. The festivities at the Sudumale Sri Purneshwari Ambal Kovil will come to an end after the festival, which will be held on the 3rd, and the water cutting ceremony on the 4th. Meanwhile, parliamentarian J. Sriranga, who arrived in Jaffna yesterday, looked into the well-being of Student Council Secretary of the Jaffna University, Paramalingam Darshanath, who was attacked by an unidentified group recently. According to the Jaffna police, no arrests have been made so far.